Alright, here comes the main event of this pod over here. And this it is the Randy Orton 20-year anniversary. Can't believe it, man. 20 years of big old Randall Keith Orton. So I don't know. I'll give a little backstory here. So Randy Orton's always been one of my favorite guys, but we've had a lot of love and hate. So, Legend Killer Randy, Evolution Randy, godlike. To me, Legend Killer Randy will never be beat. The best. The best run of his career, the best matches of his career. He's the best at that point. Like, Randy Orton is crazy on that level, man. Viper Randy Orton, good shit. The Authority Randy Orton is 50-50 with me. Babyface SmackDown Randy Orton is absolute trash. But he gives me probably the best Randy Orton matches of all time. So, it's a very mixed bag. It's like, when Randy tries, he's one of the best. Like, he's silky smooth. He makes everything look easy. But sadly, Randy gets very complacent, or he just doesn't feel like trying sometimes. Like, there's some pay-per-view matches where like Randy's on a fucking other level, and then there's some stuff like, go watch Randy versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam before Roman made it big. And that will let you know when Randy doesn't give a fuck about putting anyone over. Then, go watch Randy and Christian, and you get some of the best matches you've ever seen in your life. Get Randy and John Cena, which a lot of people can hate, but I love that rivalry. I love pretty much almost all their matches. The I Quit match, the Last Man Standing match, the freaking match at the Royal Rumble where they started doing each other's moveset. I think him and Randy, John Cena and Randy had a good rivalry. Edge and Cena are still number one. And then I would probably say Cena and Punk after that. But Randy's always up there when it comes to wrestlers. It's weird. He went through a weird period where I feel like he wasn't appreciated enough. And then he went through a weird period where I thought he was overrated. And now we're at the point where I'm like, Randy's good when he wants to be. You know what I mean? But let's start it off. I have a top 10 here, which is probably going to be a little different than everybody's. Probably not. It's going to have a lot of stuff. But let's start off. I'll give my top 10 in order, in actual order of what match I like the most, and give a little backstory on the match here. So, number 10, we got Bork Laser versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam. This is the match where Brock busted open Randy and started making him bleed. There's a reason I put this match on here. I thought it was a pretty solid match. But just the visual of Brock Lesnar going nuts and cracking this guy's skull and Randy laying there in his own blood. It was something. Just even the way Randy sold it was amazing. Like, Chris Jericho thought this was a shoot and legit was going to fight Brock Lesnar backstage. I was watching this with my cousins, and one of them, legit, was super fucking pissed at Brock. This match will always stand out to me because it brought out so much emotion from the community. And, my family, and then Jericho, and the wrestling community. Everyone was like, holy shit, we can't believe this happened. And like I said, I thought they were having a really, really good, solid match. Honestly, I thought it was a really good, fucking solid shit. I was like, all right, this is good. This is good shit. And then I'm like, fuck. This actually was very fucking memorable. But not for the mostly match itself. It was mostly memorable for the moment. So yeah, number 10 is Brock and Randy at SummerSlam. Number 9 was Randy Orton versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 21. First of all, the build to this was fucking fantastic. Second of all, the freaking choke slam RKO reversal. They had me. I thought that was it. This was Randy Orton at top legend killer status. So when Undertaker landed that went for that choke slam and he RKO'd him one-handed style, tapped the back of his head. So sick. That is such a sick RKO. It's probably one of my favorites, and I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough. Just because it's very simplistic. But this was one of the only times I thought The Undertaker was done. I was like, oh yeah, Randy Orton's winning. Come on, next generation, fucking, Legend Killer, all that shit. And I thought they had a very underrated WrestleMania match that no one talks about. I thought this match was great. It's kind of like the Batista match. Like, people talk about, great matches, and I feel like Batista's Undertaker match doesn't get brought up either. But I thought this match was awesome. The build going on to it, burning him alive in the car, all the shit they did, all the shit they did was fantastic in this match. I definitely feel like it's one of Randy's top WrestleMania matches. Number 8 is the Randy Orton John Cena I Quit match. I know people are going to be like, oh, whatever, John Cena and Randy Orton. Some people don't like their matches. Some people do. I tend to really like their matches. Like I said, the one at the Royal Rumble where they start doing all each other's finishes, good. The ladder match to unify the titles where Randy pulls him down with the rope and crashes him to the table. I like that one too. But this is probably my favorite match because this was sadistic as, I think, 2008, 2009 Randy Orton, where he, shaved his head bald. He just got the arm sleeve tattoos. He looked like a maniac. And my favorite spot, man, I wish he would have won this match because, you can't make John Cena say I quit. I love you, Cena, but, back in the day, he was a scumbag. But if John Cena would have passed out from the pain, like when he had his handcuffed, he had him tied up like Jesus Christ, and he was the way he was selling and beating the shit out of Cena, tied in the tree of woe, handcuffed like Jesus, and he was hitting him with the candlestick, chair, choking him, beating the crap out of him. That shit got uncomfortable. Like, the crowd was like, oh shit, like this dude's getting the shit beat out of him. Just the way Cena sold everything, the way Randy legit dead stared the whole time. This was some of Randy's best facial heel work. Like, I think this match is underrated as shit. Like, I thought this match was awesome. I think it's great. I just hate the part, Cena gets uncuffed, wins, that's it. Fucking goes crazy. I'm like, they should have had Randy win when he tied him up and beat the shit out of him so bad that he passed out. He didn't even I quit. John Cena will never quit. Just let him pass out, and that's the end of the match. But John Cena, Randy Orton, I Quit match number 8. I love that fucking match. Here's a strange one. We got Edge and Randy Orton, the greatest wrestling match ever. So, was this the greatest wrestling match ever? Fuck no. Was this the best Randy Orton Edge match ever? Yes, it was. I didn't like, like the camera work and they did what they could in being in the pandemic era. I wish this was a match that wasn't. Because I feel like this would have gotten kind of a Christian Randy Orton reaction. Because this was a good ass match. This is a good match. Randy Orton won cleanly. This was just a really good match, and it was better than their Last Man Standing match at WrestleMania. Even though I don't think that match is as horrible as it is. It's long, but I got kind of like I watch New Japan matches. Like, to me, long matches don't be like, oh my god, I can't take this anymore. But yeah, it's it's not the greatest wrestling match ever, but it's pretty damn good. It's definitely my favorite Edge Randy match. For sure. It has a good story going in of Randy basically trying to kill his friend, send him back home before he kills himself, and basically he feels like he's the one that has to end Edge's career, so no one else does it, because he'll at least have sympathy on him. Like, it's a great story. That's the sad part. Here's a match a lot of people probably are not going to bring up. Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton in a no DQ match on a random episode of Raw. This is the one where Bryan got the stinger on the back suplex on the barricade, where freaking Bryan said, fuck that, let's continue this match. The match got stopped and did all that stuff. But then we had the rematch. I think it was a week later or 2 weeks later, where they had like no DQ match. They went in and Bryan tapped out Randy cleanly with the kendo stick. Assisted yes lock. Like, I know Bryan beat John Cena by this point, but I feel like, to me, this is when people really also started taking Bryan seriously. Tapping out Randy Orton on an episode of Raw cleanly to a label lock with a fucking kendo stick. I feel like this match did a lot for Daniel Bryan that a lot of people don't bring up. You know what I mean? And like I said, did Randy have to put over Daniel Bryan cleanly? No. Especially by freaking tap out. He could have just lost the Bukkake knee and called it a day. But I feel like that's a match that doesn't get talked about. Number 5, halfway through the list here, Batista versus Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 30 main event. I definitely think this is Randy Orton's best main event at WrestleMania. And what more can you say? Batista bomb, RKO combo through the announce table, sick fucking nasty. One of my favorite tag team maneuvers. And Randy crashing through the table and getting impaled by the fucking TV screen will always live in my memory going, that's when Randy Orton probably developed back issues. But this match was awesome. What more can you want? They both put over Bryan big. Daniel Bryan beat Triple H in the opener in one of my favorite opening matches of all time. And then Randy Orton and Batista, he beat the whole Evolution in one night. And Randy had a big part of this. I thought Randy was one of the highlights of the match, actually. He was doing a lot of cool stuff. And like I said, he helped put over one of the biggest stars in this generation, Daniel Bryan. You know what I mean? Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty here. Number 4, of course, Cactus Jack versus Randy Orton, Backlash 2004. This is the match, to me, that made Randy Orton a main eventer. The same way Cactus Jack made Shawn Michaels more serious, he made The Undertaker more sadistic, he made Triple H a main eventer, and I'm a big Triple H fan. Triple H is my favorite wrestler of all time forever, and he will not be in the spot he is in if it wasn't for Mick Foley. Same thing with Randy Orton. The RKO push to the thumbtacks, legendary. The greatest Randy Orton spot of all time. If it's not that, it's the RKO to Evan Bourne. You know what I mean? Like, it's legit one of the best spots of all time. One of the best hardcore matches I've ever seen. Love that damn match. Just the setup to it with fucking, he's spitting on Mick Foley's face. He, punt kicks him down the stairs. Like, the setup is incredible. 10 out of 10 feud. 10 out of 10 match. His match is 5 stars to me. I don't care what no one says. And I don't even like hardcore shit like that. But this match was perfect. It's called perfect fucking storytelling. It made Randy Orton a big deal. And this was, a lot of people don't bring this up. This is for the IC title. This elevated the Intercontinental Championship to me. You know what I mean? Like, did you even have to throw the IC title on the line? No, you fucking didn't. But it didn't help. So, yeah. Excuse me. Number 4, Cactus Jack was Randy Orton. That's some good shit. Now we get, this was a hard one to pick, one of the Evolution matches. Evolution versus Shield, the Shield in Extreme Rules 2014. Again, a match that Randy did a lot that he didn't get a credit for, and again, they put over the Shield 2 pay-per-views in a row. Evolution put over the Shield. This is a good match. They took it everywhere. Seth with the cool crossbody on everybody. Blue Tista. This was the start of Blue Tista. And yeah, this was a fantastic match here. Number 2. So, a lot of people are probably going to give me shit for my number 2 and number 1. But I don't care. It's my list. So, yeah. Randy Orton, yeah. Randy Orton versus Christian at Over the Limit 2011. This was off the controversy. Christian having his title run ruined by Randy at SmackDown. Christian won the title and 2 days later drops the title to Randy Orton on SmackDown in a fantastic match on SmackDown. And I mean fantastic. Like, I hated this era of Randy Orton. Babyface, toe touch split. Woohoo! Randy Orton was cancer to me. I hated babyface Randy Orton. But his wrestling skills by this time, bruh. Randy was on another fucking level. The matches were Christian. His 3 matches were Christian. Or, yeah. 4 if you want to count the one where he gets DQ'd and Christian wins back the title. But his matches with Christian are incredible. It's Randy Orton's best opponent to this day. To this day! So the Over the Limit match was after Christian lost the title to him on SmackDown. He was still a babyface. And one more match. One of my favorite Christian ones, other than Christian Cage and TNA. That's my second favorite Christian run. And what can I say? This match was fucking solid as fuck. It was amazing. Randy Orton had doing Billy Goat's curse and all that shit. But the reason I'm trying to skip over this match, it was good as shit. But number one, the greatest Randy Orton match of all time, to my opinion, Randy Orton versus Christian, SummerSlam 2011, no DQ match. It was the last match they had. It was amazing. Christian and Randy Orton in 2011 could do no fucking wrong. Anytime these dudes touched, it was crazy. I've never seen Randy have chemistry like this with anybody. Because him and Edge have the chemistry here and there. Him and Triple H, it depends. Him and Batista, it depends. Randy Orton and fucking Christian can't miss. Every match they had, heat. Every freaking single match. And come on. So Christian in the last match, he always got played. He went for the sunset flip. He gets caught in the RKO. He loses. Steel steps are in the way. Christian goes for the sunset flip. He fakes him out. Randy jumps in the air. Boom. Hits the steel steps. Christian goes for it again. And guess what? Randy fucks that shit. Hits the RKO on the steel steps. Gets the win. Reclaims the title. And just this whole thing, man. Christian was the babyface. Randy was the babyface. Christian loses the title. Christian wants one more match. Respectful. Christian wins back the title by DQ, which he is the only person to do. Because he spits on Randy Orton's face. Randy kicks him in the nuts. He loses the title. Gets it back here in a nice no DQ. It's a perfect storm, as they say. I can watch Randy Orton and Christian, these matches, anytime. Anytime I'll put these in the background and be like, yo, that's it. It was fucking magic, bro. You had to be there when you see Christian and Randy Orton go at it. It was such good shit. But that's number one for me. That's my top 10. Like I said, I try to make it a little different than everybody. And I will fight anybody that doesn't try to tell me Christian and Randy Orton weren't fucking heat in that rivalry. But that's it for me. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.